Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet, and we're going to be casting another Daily Masters game right here. Up the top left side of the map, it is going to be our blue Zerg player, HyuN. And yeah, we've seen him all over the place, and we know he's a really awesome Zerg player. So let's move on and check out our next player. Down the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be our red Terran player, MMA, and I haven't actually seen MMA before, so let's do a little bit of a search to first of all, just see what he's all about. Yeah, it looks pretty good. He's a South Korean player, and he plays for the Team Acer, it looks like, and he's he looks pretty awesome. But of course, information on a web page only takes you so far. In order to see how truly awesome MMA is, we of course are going to have to judge his performance based on the sole outcome of this one game. Yeah, no doubt he is very awesome. He's I think this game was taken from one of the RSLs, the Russian Starcraft 2 leagues. They got little tournaments all over the place, so yeah, that's pretty awesome. And yeah, the fact that he's playing up against HyuN definitely says that he is one of the big league players. So yes, very interesting to be seeing a TvZ. Yeah, because I don't think we've done one of those for a little while. It's been I think we did a PvZ, and before that we did a PvT. So trying to keep it sort of all over the place a little bit. Gonna try not to do the same thing twice in a row with these daily masters. Gonna try and mix it up a little bit, and yeah, try and keep it interesting for you guys, my fans, all you wonderful people out there who watch these videos and enjoy watching them. Because yeah, why not? Why not? Just do it, get it done. Everybody watches the game, everybody's happy, everybody's entertained. Somebody's not entertained because they left the game, but I'm sure that as long as the players keep playing in this game, then we should be fine. Alright, yes. Moving on, not too much going on here. We do have this drone who looks a little bit lost. I'm really not sure what he's doing. I think HyuN may have forgotten that this drone is even there. He can't be thinking about building a spine crawler or something. No, he's going to be mining. He was just waiting for that hatchery to get up. He wanted to be the first. He's like all those YouTube users who want to post the first comment. He wants to be the first to mine minerals off this base, and it almost cost him his life right there, because that Reaper, I mean, that's the problem with being the first. You're always the first one that people go after. And look at this poor bastard, man. He's the first one to be built out of the hatchery. He got screwed as well. Oh, look at that beautiful micro by HyuN to constantly save those drones. Did he just reach level 30? They didn't look like they had the skin before, man. But yeah, Queen coming up now, and the Reaper is going to get shot in the ass all over the place. And Ling's even getting a few hits there, I feel like. But so far, this Reaper got one kill. I feel like there was probably a Ling, though. Yeah, there we go. 7 Lings, so there's an odd Ling somewhere. So it's probably a corpse somewhere, so that's definitely not good for that Ling. Alright, so there we go. Reaper coming back in. The Lings are going to be chasing it, but the Reaper gets a nice spot on the high ground, and he can jump and dance all over the place as much as he wants, as long as he stays away from the queens, because those queens are not very nimble dance partners. They're the sort of dance partners who will step on your shoe when you're not expecting it and crush half of your toes. Yeah, so not a lot of fun there. But yeah, HyuN continuing to push out, continuing to get the workers going. Right now he is 8 over our Terran player MMA. And that's probably about to be expected at this point. We do have Hellbat drops on the way for MMA, so that's going to be good. I think I confused HyuN and MMA or whatever. Maybe I didn't, I don't know. But the Hellion's going to be going in. Not really going to be doing much, but I mean, I think I've said this a few times before. Hellions are basically the handshake between Terran and Zerg players. The first part of the handshake is the Reaper coming up and saying hi, and it just annoys everybody and then escapes. And the second part of the handshake is the Hellions, and they go in, they don't really do much, and then they die. So it's just something that has to happen. I think the Reaper actually did die though, so that's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, here we go, the Hellbats, and oh yeah, just walk straight under the Overlord, man. That's a really good idea. He's that's definitely telling HyuN that Hellbats are on the way. And yeah, that he's going to have to do something about it. He's getting some spores out. He definitely wants to watch out for the dropships. And here we go, the dropship's starting to come in. Trying to get hidden up here. And I think they are hidden actually, man. Look at this. There he goes, just coming out of nowhere. And just dropping a Hellbat. So that is beautiful, man. The way that's just completely hidden. Really, really scary. Just roasting these guys all over the place. And yeah, really, really nice job. But of course, HyuN is definitely prepared, and he does have the roaches coming out now. He does have a couple of spore crawlers. So this drop action not going to work too well. He might be able to roast this queen, maybe. I don't think he really wants to waste it on a queen though. He's going. Look at that drone, man. Oh, just flaming death all over the place. We can't zoom in any closer to that drone, but he did burn down to a flame, and then that's actually pretty crazy, man, because they've got to put in death animations, like 4 or 5 different death animations for bloody every single unit, man. Think about it, the roaches turn things green and then they die. The bloody Hellbats, they make them red and then they die. I'm sure there's some Protoss thing that makes them blue and then they die. Maybe the Immortals or something like that. But yeah, really, really crazy. Maybe they just have like just a color-based shader or something like that. But yeah, the death animation blowing up in flames, really, really nice. See, look at that guy, man. He just burnt alive. I think they just have a flame texture on it, and then they just put a little bit of flames on top of it. So they've got a texture, and they just apply that same texture to every unit. We'll see if they kill a queen here. I want to see a Hellbat kill something else, so we can see if it's a similar sort of texture and they just apply it to every single unit. Because I feel like as long as the texture's, you know, not that bad, they could probably get away with it. Oh, the Hellbats are just going to run here though. Oh, so close, man. That dropship's so close to going down. But MMA actually starting to get a very decent looking army. He's got a decent number of Marauders here. That is 6 Marauders. So he's definitely going to be ready for the roaches if they start to come out. And let's have a look at the tally here. 60 workers versus 52. That's about right. 15 roaches here versus 8 Marauders, 9 Hellbats. I feel like MMA is in a very, very decent spot here. He hasn't got as much army. Actually, he does have as much army. He doesn't have as much numbers because HyuN is popping up a lot of very cheap units like Lings and Roaches. But I feel like these Marauders are going to do a ton of damage, and the Hellbats are going to be able to take care of any Lings. And oh, that's actually a ton of Roaches, man. How did he get that many Roaches? He had 15, and now he's got 30, man. That guy is just absolutely insane. He must have been building a ton. There we go, 12 more. So his economy officially kicked off about half a minute ago. When I saw 15, there must have been like another 15 building, man. So really, really nuts. And here we go. This dropship just going to be knocked back. And suddenly, I mean, anybody looking at those totals of units would have thought that MMA had something going for him. But no, we forgot to look at the production tab. And there was a ton of stuff on that production tab. Just a ton of roaches. And yeah, 12-minute roach push, man. It's so strong, so powerful. And he's actually managed to get 1-1 on these roaches. So that is just absolutely phenomenal. A couple of Widow Mines. Whoa. That was pretty crazy, man. If he runs over a stream of about 6 or 7 Widow Mines, that whole roach force is just dead. 4th base. That was pretty pretty optimistic there from HyuN. I mean, he probably can get it, but that dropship was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And here we go. He's thinking about hitting this 3rd base over here. He perhaps has a shot at it. If he stims in, runs in and takes it out nice and quick, I feel like he can take it out. There we go. Don't get slowed down. Just go straight for it. Wipe it out. He's getting a couple of creep tumors on the way, but your main target has got to be this hatchery. It's just got to be this hatchery. And there he goes. He's moving in, starting to hit the hatchery. The roaches are going to reinforce it, but I feel like he's got it. I feel like MMA has got this. And there we go. The hatchery goes down. And not only has he stopped a lot of the mining from HyuN, he has cut down his production capability by half in the last minute. I mean, we never really had this hatchery, but he's at least cut it down by a third with killing that third base. So MMA showing that mass roaches does not scare him, that he can take it out if he wants to. And, oh, this poor bastard, man. He had like 3 or 4 kills as well, so he's a pretty awesome marauder, but MMA doing a really, really good job, turning it around, keeping the pressure on. That is something that MMA is doing a absolutely fantastic job of now, keeping the pressure on. He is hitting this base, dropping up in there, hitting the third base, dropping over there. He's got something over here as well. Is this a Widow Mine? Oh my god, there's a Widow Mine in the main base. I only hit 1 drone there, but talk about keeping the pressure on. And here we go, force coming in, and the Hydra's moving back. The whole army is moving back. I don't think they've got enough time to take this hatchery out, because yeah, the army's right back here. They're going to have to run. They do not have enough to deal with this army directly. Do not hold back. What are you doing? Oh, the dropships are all going to be shredded. This was a horrible idea, MMA. Just get the hell out of there. He's trying to stall. I think he's trying to stall for this force to push into the main. He's pulling him out, but this may backfire if his third base gets taken out. And it looks like at this point, HyuN definitely should be thinking about taking this third base out. But no, he is going to be pulled back. He is going to be pulled back to take care of this force. I feel like this was just a mistake on HyuN's part. A huge, huge, huge mistake. Not a game-breaking mistake, but definitely a mistake that he should not have made. Pulling all those forces back to take care of this one dropship with about 5 units in it. It's just not worth it. And he could have taken this third base out. He could have wiped it out quite easily, I feel like. But meanwhile, a few Widow Mines coming up. And he's going to snipe the third base once again, getting this army out of position. Man, oh man, oh man. HyuN has got an amazing macro. He is just one of the biggest, heaviest macro players I've ever seen. But his army is just being made so... is not doing anything, really. I mean, it's just spending most of his time running around the map. And he's got his third base taken out twice now. But finally, HyuN is making the push in. He's ignoring this drop completely. He's just pushing in. I guess the drop wasn't big enough to really warrant it, but maybe he's deciding the last time he moved back, it was a mistake, so now he's moving in, but the tide has started to shift little by little, and MMA, with his third base out for so long, has actually started to get enough to prove to be some kind of threat. He's still not quite able to shrug off HyuN. HyuN's massive amount of macro is still carrying him through to knock this third base back, but that was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I thought MMA would... I mean, 5 minutes ago, HyuN could have just flattened MMA in a straight-up army versus army attack, but right now, MMA, he's bought himself so much time and got himself a very, very decent army, but it looks like HyuN with that attack may have just pushed back. He was tired of getting slapped around by MMA all over the pace. So he just went straight out and just punched him in the face. So that's what you got to do, man. If somebody is slapping you around a little bit, you just punch them in the face, and then they'll have no choice but to stop slapping you. So there we go. Good stuff. Nice Widow Mine there. The first drone to build a 4th over here is going to be in for a big surprise. And yeah, MMA continuing to build up, but I feel like losing that third base, he didn't lose it, but losing the ability to mine off it, and losing all of his army units over there is definitely put him on the back foot right now. I mean, HyuN has definitely got the advantage right now in quite a big way. He's 22 workers up. He's he's about 20 army up. And he just needs to keep the pressure on. I mean, he needs to keep the pressure on. He cannot allow these bases to go down and start mining because, yeah, I mean, MMA kept the pressure off himself for so long with those drops. And it looks like he's going to try and do that again. And here we go. HyuN pulling back once again to his third base to try and save this off. So even with one dropship that's barely full of units, MMA is still putting the pressure on. HyuN, and HyuN is just so defensively minded. I suppose he has lost his base twice, so he's probably got a decent reason to be defensively minded, but I don't know, man. I still feel like pulling this entire force back to deal with one dropship is a bit too much. Is a bit of just overextending yourself, just overreaction, I suppose. You could definitely deal with that with a fraction of these forces, and yeah, continue to go on and really start testing the edges. Start putting, you don't have to actually kill anything, but just putting MMA on a defensive mindset, putting some pressure on him. I mean, you can run in through the middle, start wiping out supply depots, start wiping out these barracks, man. You might get flanked a little bit here, but you can do a flank. And look at this. This is beautiful for a three-sided attack. And we know that HyuN has the forces to make that three-sided attack happen, but is just coming down to these forces, just constantly hitting him. And yeah, look at this. The whole army once again going off. Meanwhile, MMA moving in. He's going to take out this Overlord. He's actually stopping to take the Overlord. I would move in straight away. Time is not on your side. Go in, hit the main base. Right now the main base is open and he could do a lot of damage, but actually HyuN moving a separate force over to his main base to defend that, while most of his force is over here. So HyuN starting to do a very good job of dealing with those attacks. This guy is not going to be comfortable, man. Those spikes are going through solid rock, and that looks like Zelnaga rock, so that's probably freaking tough. So yeah, he is going to be in quite a lot of pain at the moment. It's just like when you're in a really low ceilinged house and you're a really tall guy and you stand up and you hit your head and it's just like, it's like the worst feeling in the world, and that's what these infestors got to be feeling right now. But yeah, he's just going to keep on doing his stuff, and it looks like HyuN is going to be making the push in here right now. But once again, he after this attack here, which he did very nice, he's sort of been put on the back foot once again, and this huge army isn't spending a lot of time actually hitting stuff, actually killing forces. And yeah, right now MMA has had enough time to get the economy up, to build himself a very nice force, and he's set himself up a ton of siege tanks, which is a great counter for what HyuN has. So it's all going to be, I don't know, man. I mean, soon enough MMA is going to start feeling confident enough to start taking out mining bases, to start taking out drones, to stop doing a lot of drop action like he's doing now. We're going to start to see 2 drops at once, maybe even 3 drops at once, hitting multiple bases like he was doing in early on in this game, and HyuN's economy is going to start to fall apart if that happens too much. And this army is just so ineffectual right now. It really is just ineffectual. It's powerful, it's dangerous, but I mean, it's not working, man. He's not using it because he's constantly responding to the drops with this main army. He really needs to just peel off forces. There we go. He's got some roaches here, some other stuff. He's moving in now, but with all the siege tanks here, he's just going to get scared off. So it's basically a reverse of what it was 15 minutes ago. Before, MMA did not have the forces. He could not attack HyuN straight on, so he had to do all those dicey sort of drop actions. And yeah, eventually that bought him enough time to get a very decent army up. Now HyuN is in the opposite position. He cannot afford to attack MMA directly. Not with all these tanks, he just can't. So he's got to do something to buy himself some time to get up a counter to these units. And he's not really doing anything. MMA is pushing in, and he's being relatively unmolested. He just took out that base, and HyuN back on 3 bases, MMA on 4 bases, and he's really turning it around right now. And HyuN is actually going for some crazy tech, man. He's going for a Broodlord Corruptor. That's a good option, I feel like. It's actually going to be quite a good option here. But can he do it off 3 bases? We can't really count this base. Can he do it off 3 bases when 2 of them aren't even mining, man? I feel like going for really heavy tech like that is going to starve himself out. And Meanwhile, MMA will be able to reinforce himself much better than HyuN will be able to. And it all comes down to the trade-offs. Can these Brood Lords help HyuN to kill more than he loses? If he kills 2 or 3 supply for every 1 supply he loses, then I think he's in a good position. If he kills 1 supply for every 1 supply he loses, then I feel like the economy is just going to favour MMA too much, and yeah, and HyuN is just going to lose. So it all comes down to that, but a lot of this army is just not going to be doing what they need to be doing right now. He's doing a great job here, but the Hydra's in a beautiful position to head that off, and that was a very bad loss for MMA, but he's still got these units all over the place. He's got a ton of tanks, but with the Broodlords on the map, I mean, he was banking so much on the tank tech, and now it's just basically been chucked out the window. The Hydras are still over here, but here we go. He's going to push in. He's just going to siege up, and yeah, just shell the crap out of HyuN, put him on his back foot. But I don't know if he has enough anti-air, because the Broodlords are going to get back here and are going to just start wrecking his world. HyuN's managed to get up a massive amount of Broodlords in a very, very short amount of time, but they're all running over the Widow Mines, man. This could be very bad. Oh, one more Widow Mine, and 3 of those Broodlords would have gone down. That is crazy, man. Just, oh, Widow Mine taking out Broodlings. That's going to be fun. And here we go. Tank's doing a great job here. The Broodlords are going to run in with the Corruptors as cover. And yeah, I do not know if he can take out this many Broodlords. I don't think he has what he needs. Maybe he does. Look at all these Vikings that MMA has got out in a very, very short amount of time. The Corruptors, though, the Corruptor force is quite huge, and a couple of Fungals on the Vikings is not going to improve that situation. All the Vikings go down, and this play by HyuN, usually late game tech switches, massive ones, especially to Broodlords, very, very iffy. They're very, very scary, and usually they don't work. But in this case, HyuN, I think he may have made it work. Maybe. All of his Broodlords have gone down, though. That's the only thing. He shredded a ton of MMA's forces, an absolute ton. But yeah, I thought for a sec that was going to work, but just the Marines getting in there, doing an awesome sort of stuff. I mean, the fact is he needed the Hydras to really hit the Marines, and the Hydras just got taken out by the tanks. We're going to have a closer look at this battle, because I feel like, yeah, I feel like there's some stuff that we probably could comment on that we didn't quite. Oh, hit the wrong button. We didn't quite comment on, but I'm going to check out this battle, because this many Broodlords, I feel like Marines took out most of them, but I want to see what took the Hydra out. I feel like it was tanks. Let's take out the units count. So watch all these numbers over here. Here we go. So the Corruptor's being fed in. The Marines moving out. And the Marines, he's actually got quite a lot of Marines. The Vikings moving out there, taking out a lot of Broodlords here. So if we have a look, Broodlords going out. We've got 6, 5. The Vikings going down though. There's a lot of them going down. And the Marines moving out at the same time, hitting a lot of these guys. The Marines actually hitting a lot of the Corruptors. And Widow Mines actually doing quite a bit of damage as well. So yeah, the Vikings plus the Widow Mines took them down to 2. And the Marines, I feel like, are just going to take out the rest. And meanwhile, the Hellions, so the Hydras kept going in, and they get shelled so hard by the tanks, just so hard. The Marines took out the other 2 Broodlords, and meanwhile, MMA is just mainly tanks, and that was all he needed, really. So, yeah, just a great job there. And I mean, I thought for a sec that HyuN really had it there, but MMA getting out a massive amount of Vikings in a very short amount of time, man. He had 12 Vikings, just boom. Just suddenly he had 12 Vikings. I'm just like, man, that's completely insane. Where are all his starports? I want to see how many starports this guy had. 1 starport, 2 more. There we go. These guys didn't have reactors, but he would have been able to build 4 Vikings at once. So yeah, getting 12 out very fast. And look at that, he's continuing to get a whole bunch more. So very, very, very nice there. And yeah, really, really great job there. So good job to MMA, man. I thought a couple of times he was screwed. 12-minute roach push was so scary, man. But the drop action and HyuN choosing every single time to pull his forces back to defend. even when it was only one dropship, he'd pull back his entire force to defend. And I feel like his micromanagement of his army could have been improved a little bit there to hold off those drops without sacrificing his forward position whenever he got that forward position. Because, yeah, from about the 12-minute on to the 16, 17-minute mark, HyuN just had the biggest army you'll ever see, and he could have done so much damage with it, but the dropships kept him back in his base. And, yeah, that army, man, just not really pushing out and doing any major damage to the Terran player at all for those 5 minutes. So not good at all. And yeah, MMA eventually coming out. It was a tight spot when the Broodlord started to come out, but he got 12 Vikings out in record time and managed to hold it off. And of course the tanks solidifying the victory by destroying all of those Hydras. Look at this, man. That is just absolutely brutal. You can see, I don't know what that is, but that's like a queen? Is that an infestor part? I do not know. We need like a zergologist to tell us exactly what part of a zerg that comes off. That's very interesting. I feel like that's a broodlord, which, I'm sorry, we have to find out what part of a zerg this part comes off now. I'm just so interested. Because, yeah, I mean, here he goes. Yes, it is going to be a queen. It is a queen part. He's moved his queens out at the very last second to try and fight the battle, but they are still going to get taken out, so there we go. Really, really nice, and yes, the queens all get destroyed, and that is just a bloody mess, quite literally. I wonder if this violates any YouTube ratings of like violence or something like that. I don't know, man. I think Starcraft's rated M, so it's probably alright. It's probably alright. So yeah, alright. Well, good job to MMA for really turning that around, because I feel like he was in a tight spot, but the drops so good, and HyuN did a fantastic job of handling. I gotta say, alright, not quite fantastic. He did a great job. But it wasn't quite fantastic. It wasn't quite the best of the best of the best drop handling for a Zerg player. But you know what? Yeah, so sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So there we go. There it is, TvZ. Beautiful game. Congratulations to MMA. And this has been your Daily Masters game. Stay tuned tomorrow for another one coming up. This has been HyuN Muppet. Hope you enjoyed this game.